very special day. For a moment, I would like you to just relax in your seats. Drop everything that you might be carrying with you for the next half hour. Put it on the side. You'll get back to it after half an hour, I promise. Whatever you're here with, yes, shut off your phones. I'm just recording. If you can put on vibrate, I would really appreciate it. Drop whatever you might have come here with, the kids at home, gotta do this, gotta do that, challenges, anything. Just put it on the side for half an hour and be present here right now. Also, I invite you to suspend everything that you might know about BiShvat and everything you might know about this day. Just suspend it for the next half hour. Because when the vessel is empty, we can't receive. If it's full, there isn't really much room to play around with. So just suspend it. You can agree, you can disagree, you can like, you can dislike, all good. But just suspend it for the next half hour. I invite you to. So, there is a concept, even in physics, in quantum physics. There is a concept that everything is contained, everything big is contained in the smallest thing. The idea of macrocosm in microcosm. The idea of the whole universe being contained in one atom. That if we can look in one atom, we are able to see the whole universe and how it operates, the laws of the universe, how it's come to be. If we can understand one atom from anywhere, one atom of a table, one atom from anywhere. You take it, you look at it, we can understand the whole universe based on the rotation of the electrons around the nucleus, so on and so forth. So therefore, there is also this idea that taken that concept that within one day, in one day, you can have a glimpse, like all the windows open, all the doors open, and you can have a glimpse into the beginning of time. That day is today. You can have a glimpse into Gan Eden today. And we do it, the way we do it is by our awareness, by our consciousness, and by our connection. So what an absolute gift for us to be here today. Because as Khanum Sarraf said, literally, we are in Gan Eden right now. If we can connect to its consciousness, we are literally in Gan Eden. BiShvat is the 11th of it's the 15th of the 11th month. If we take that numbering, is Hashem's name. The 15th of 11th month, which is today, which is the full month of Shvat, is Hashem's name, which is Yud K Vav K. So we are actually present. We are being encompassed by that light and by that energy. And the secret of Yud K Vav K is in, what do you think?
Love.
Within us.
It's within us. The secret is within the tree of life. The tree of life. Today, we celebrate the birthday. We say the birthday of trees, but it's actually the birthday of the tree. It's the birthday of the tree. So they say, what tree is that? the tree is the tree of life, which was placed in Gan Eden at the same time as with everything else. So today is actually a Rosh Hashanah. Because we are likened to a tree, man is the tree of the field. Human being is the tree of the field. The human being can actually be the tree of life in a field, in a vast field where there is nothing. A field, you don't find anything in it. It doesn't say the man in an orchard, or the man is a tree in an orchard, or the man is a tree in the ocean, or the man is a tree in a field. In a field, you need to sow, you need to plant, you need to do work. But the man is the tree in a field, which means that the man is likened to the tree of life. Man himself can carry the tree of life within himself. What is that tree of life? What is it? What is ببخشید من پشتم به شما ببخشید. What is tree of life? Tree of life? That's the tree of knowledge. This is a step higher. What is it?
Eternity is no end to anything.
It's continuity. It's eternity. What is it?
It's the root to the endless.
It's the root.
It's the root.
It's that connection. Right. It's the root.
They say that the Torah is tree of life.
That's right. The Torah is also likened to the tree of life. So both man is likened to the tree of life, and Torah is likened to the tree of life. Meaning that man contains within him, if he allows and he is aware and he gives permission, that all of Torah can come out from him, can be awakened from him. Just the way that the tree of life grows. Both man and tree of life, man and Torah, they have that connotation that they are both the tree of life. What else? Belief in?
Any belief you have is good. To have a belief.
To have a belief. To have a belief.
To believe in something higher than you.
Faith.
Faith. Unity.
To be a real human and to feel others. That's how we can just feel
Compassion. Okay, so to answer that, all of that is true. But to answer that, we go and see where the tree of life was used. In last week's parasha, we actually saw the use of the tree of life, and we continuously see it during Exodus. Again, I said suspend everything you know, because this is a little bit out there. It is said that the staff of Moshe Rabbeinu was a branch from the tree of life that was taken out of Gan Eden. This staff was able to perform miracles. Well, it wasn't really the staff that was performing miracles, it was Hashem, but the vessel through which it was Moshe holding the staff, but it was about raising the staff. Anytime he raised the staff, things would happen. Sea would open, there would be darkness for the Egyptians, the fight between the Amalekite and the Jewish people. Moshe had to have his staff upward, which was a branch that was taken out from Gan Eden, from the tree of life. Also, in this week's parasha, in last week's parasha, they arrive at Mara. After having gone through Red Sea and having gone through everything that they went through, they arrive in Mara. Mara means bitter. There was water, but the water was bitter. So they start complaining. What are we going to do? We traveled all this time. We should have gone back to Egypt. It was better if we died in Egypt. Why did you take us out? Complaining. So Moshe says, what do I do? Hashem says, go take that tree and put the branch in the water. So he takes the tree and puts the branch in the water, and the water becomes sweet. Today is when we can. Today is a day when we have permission to enter into Gan Eden. And we can take a branch of that tree of life, bless you. Take a branch of that tree of life. And even though it's dead, the staff is dead. Even though it might look dead to you, the staff looks dead. It seems as if though it has no life. But don't be mistaken. Everything comes from that tree of life. When you're traveling on your journeys, when you are going day to day, and you come across Mara, you come across bitterness, you take that tree and you dip it into that water. We have everything we need in order to not only go through, but rise above, just like the staff that gets risen above. We have everything we need to go above gravity. What does a tree do? It goes absolutely against gravity. It goes towards the sun and always against gravity, always against gravity. Today is the day when it says that the waters start rising up. The sap, it starts awakening, and the water starts rising up from the roots into the trunk of the tree. Does it look like the trees are alive right now? Absolutely not. But today is the day when, so the water, the metaphor for this water going up the sap, the water is chesed, is kindness, but it's also information. It's light. It's Hashem's light. It's Hashem's connection. Water always goes from upward to downward, correct? Always. Water always goes from upward. From the mountain, it goes down. From the heavens, it drains down. The only time water goes upward is to the tree. Is to give life to the tree. However, what needs to be prepared is that a tree needs to exist there in order for the water to go upward. If there is no tree, there is nothing for it to go upward towards. Today, and this is absolutely beautiful to me, the river that came from Eden, it was not Gan Eden, it was not a river from Gan Eden, it was a river that was from Eden. And it traveled to come and feed, to come into Gan Eden and to feed the tree of life. Today is the day when the waters and the rivers of Eden are all wide open, and for for them to be feeding the tree of life. Today is the day when the water rises upward. But that's in us. In us. Everything we need, if we are open to it, today we can receive it. And we receive it by the numerical value for the man in the field is equal to da'at, which is connection, knowledge. When we connect to our own soul, when we connect to Hashem, when we connect to each other, we make a container, we make a vessel for this beautiful water to be coming to us from Eden, from a place where everything is known, from the place where all knowledge is known, all wisdom is known, all love is known. The month of Shvat, the sign for month of Shvat is a pail. It's the sign of a water carrier. Each one of us is a water carrier, because if we are the tree, we are actually carrying the water with us. We are each a water carrier. Depending on how much we carry, it depends on how big is our pail. So it's for us to carry a bigger pail. It's for us to see what kind of a pail we are carrying. And it's also for us to know that if the pail is cracked, and a cracked pail is for all those parts of us that are hurt, for all those parts of us that have felt as a failure, for all those parts of us that have felt as unworthy, undeserving. That's a cracked pail. But it's also to know that if you're carrying a cracked pail, the water that seeps out, it's actually feeding other seeds that might otherwise get no water. So our containers might be cracked, but it's exactly in that crack that all the blessings to others come to be, because we are not only for ourselves. Yes, we can make our containers bigger. Yes, and we should, and we must. But along the way of making these containers bigger, we come across many different things, many upheavals, many low-heavals. And it's for us to, number one, know that it's okay. Not only is it okay, that in itself is a blessing in itself. Number one. And number two, we are equipped with everything. If we wish to, if we want to tap into it, we are equipped with everything that we need, because the tree of life, the knowledge of Torah, is right here in our core, is right here in our soul. We just need to be awakened to it. And with that, we take the staff in our hand and we raise ourselves high every time we come to a circumstance or something that makes us fall. You come to a bitter water, no problem. Take your staff, dip it into it. These are all, they are not just stories, but they are, and not only lessons, they are things for us to be awakened to, so we understand what we are carrying with us, what we are capable of, what we are supposed to do. It's about also on Tu BiShvat, what do? We eat the fruits. Do you see any fruits outside? There are no fruits outside. It all looks dead. The branches look dead. The tree looks dead. It's today that Hashem says, I will taste your potential. I want you to taste your potential as well. I see you as your fruits. And no matter how cold and dead and brittle and unlively you might feel, today I celebrate you. Today I eat your fruit. Today I thrive. Hashem does not thrive, but the ta'anug that he gets, the enjoyment that he gets from seeing what we are capable of. And he asks us to see ourselves with the fruits that he sees us from. That's why we eat the fruits. Because we are eating the potential. It's not reality yet. It's not reality yet. But that's not what Jews do. We see what we have at hand, but we have a vision. We work toward it. We never stop. And this is what we are supposed to do in our individual lives. To see the fruit, even though it's very cold, even though it feels brittle, even though it feels frigid, even though it feels like there can be no movement. And yet we celebrate that potential. Because we know that if we put our effort into it, the potential will become an absolute reality. So what is it? Today is the day to do it. What is it? What fruit do you want to bear? What fruit do you want to be? How do you want to present yourself? What fruit is important for you to be? And look, we are all in an orchard. We are in Gan Eden. In Gan Eden, there were all different kinds of fruit trees. Each one of us is a different fruit tree. We need to be different. We have to be different. We should not bear the same fruits. Each one of us has a different talent and a different vision and a different personality, and through those personalities is the fruits that can come to bear. This is the orchard. Look at this beautiful orchard. And yes, the fruits are our children, but also the fruits are our deeds. They are what we put our effort into. They are what we put our life into. What do you want to see? What fruits do you want to bear? What do you want to eat next year this time? Because we are eating the fruit from last year. This is not the fruit of this year. We are eating the fruit from last year. What do you want to see? And how are you going to sow this? How are you going to water it? How are you going to awaken it? Today, we reside in Gan Eden, but not every day is a Gan Eden. Some days, it feels intense. Some days, it feels like the cold outside, unbearable to walk into. But we always have a staff with us. We always have a piece of Gan Eden with us, if we choose. If we choose. We have to make a choice on that. That's where freedom of choice comes to be. And, you know, in Gan Eden, today is a Rosh Hashanah not only for the tree, it's Hashem deciding how much of a fruit is the tree going to bear for the next coming year. It's also because we are likened to the tree, it's Hashem also looking at us and seeing what kind of fruits we are going to bear. It is similar to Rosh Hashanah, except there is no teshuvah. Why there is no teshuvah? Because it's Adam before he ate of the apple. There is no teshuvah today. Today is just being, just celebrating that which we possibly can be. Celebrating our chokhmah, celebrating our connection, not only to ourselves and Hashem, but to each other. And Adam, there was Adam only one man. What happened? He ate of the apple, and the result of what happened, we are still feeling it. But that's also a lesson for us. That one man, one person, one decision of eating a simple, they say apple, the others say fig, doesn't matter, of eating a fruit. It has results that have come generation after generation after generation. It is for us to know that each one of us, with everything that we do, even our eating, it can have results that can last generation after generation after generation. And it is for us to tap into, to bring the staff with us and make decisions based on based on the tree of life that which all of us possess, rather than based on the tree of knowledge, which is this is bad, this is good. Tree of knowledge is when we label things good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. And we are going to be eating of the 7 species that the land of Israel is praised for. There are many different seders that different people have for Tu BiShvat. Today we are just going to be saying beracha on the 7 species. These are the species. It says the land. So when Moshe wanted to go into Israel, which unfortunate, or I don't know, which he never made. He never made it to the land of Israel, but he had the vision to know what's there and what's possible. He told the Jewish people it is the land of wheat, barley, grape, fig, pomegranate, and the land of olive and date. The order is very important. And the fact that it says the land of, it says the land twice. I'll say it again. It's the land of wheat, barley, grape, fig, pomegranate, and the land of olive and date. It starts with wheat, it ends with date. These are the 7 characteristics that which all of us possess. Wheat. Wheat is food for the soul. Right. The land is eretz, which comes from the root ratzon, will. Having the will. We must have the will. First, before we do anything, we must have the will. Without will, nothing will happen. We won't go anywhere. So we must have the will to plant a seed in order for the tree to grow. Otherwise, nothing will happen. The land is here, but nothing will happen. So first off, we must have the will. The land of wheat. Wheat is feeding our soul. Wheat, we say, for example, hamotzi, it's from wheat, feeding the soul. Barley, just as important before we go into anything else, feeding the body. First is the soul though, and then the body. But it's just as important because these two need to be aligned together. It needs to be in a healthy body. The body must be taken care of. Grape makes wine. Joy, that we must do things with joy. We have the will. We're feeding our soul. We feed our body. But we start with joy. We do it with joy. Fig is for da'at. It's for knowledge. We must always awaken our knowledge. Always awaken with wisdom. We must go forth with knowingness. And knowledge does not necessarily mean, knowledge means knowingness. To know with your heart, to know with your soul, to know with your mind. You just know it. You know it with your core. Pomegranate. To know that each and every single one of us has many seeds within us that has not yet been actualized. The seeds of pomegranate, 613, they say, never counted them. But to know that each one of us is full of good deeds. Full. And even though it's covered up, even though we need to really cut it through, even though it doesn't show what's inside it, when you cut it up, it's full. It's to know that each one of us, it's to know for ourselves and also to know for others, that each person will look at, if we cut them up, which we don't know how to do because we can't cut a soul, but if we cut them up, it's full of mitzvot. It's full of good deeds. It's full of kindness. It's full of compassion. And it's full of things that has not been actualized even for the person themselves. The land of, and then it says the land of again. Again, you must have will. You awaken something, but then you still have to awaken the will again. The will has to continuously be awakened. Olive, the land of olive. Olive, what do we get out of it? We get oil, right? The oil of Hanukkah, the oil of lighting the menorah. The aspect of being light. The aspect of being a candle. The aspect of being a torch holder. A match bearer. And date. Date is honey, to be sweet. We have all of these within us, all of these aspects within us. We start with wheat. We actually start with a will to start even. But we start with feeding the soul, feeding the body, going through it with joy, a knowingness, knowing that each and every single one of us is full of potential and amazing things that is still unknown to even ourselves. And also to know that each one of us is a match bearer, a torch holder, is a lighthouse, and that we end with a date that is sweet. We start with the wheat. Wheat, you cannot eat it by itself like that. You have to take it, grind it, mix it, do all different sorts of things with it in order to get challah, or in order to get bread. You can't eat it by itself. So we start with something that is raw, uneatable, untouchable. We have to do things with it. We have to grind it. We have to work at it. It's a process. It takes time. It takes energy. It takes effort. It's not like that. We tap into the soul, bing, it's open. No, it takes effort. It takes energy. It's a process. We need to grind it. But then we want to end as a date. The pit of the date is inside it. Those part of us that is blocked, although it becomes a seed, but those parts of us that's untouchable, it's inside of us. It's not outside of us. The outside of us is edible. It's sweet. Both the skin and the fruit itself. If you look at the skin of the date, it's very thin. We become see-through. We become authentic. We become true, real, sweet. And that part of me that is untouchable, or that part of me that is sore, it's inside, it's not, you can't see it, you can't touch it. It's not seen to the outside world. But that in itself becomes the seed for the next date tree. A date tree takes 70 years. A wheat takes 40 days. But wheat takes 40 days, 40 or 50 days, and date takes 70 years. So we must know there are things. We can't be sweet like this. It's patience. It's persistence. The tree of life becomes a tree of life because of our persistence, because of our will, because we feed it continuously, because we don't give up, because we do it a day at a time. And the winter comes, but we know that the winter goes. The winter comes, the leaves drop, but we have the knowledge, we have the knowingness to know that these are the leaves that are no longer serving, and new leaves need to grow. But the trunk of the tree grows stronger, grows taller, and it has the capacity to bring up the water up. And this is who we are. All of these aspects within us. All of us with 613 deeds, but also 613 seeds, potentials, still untapped, still untouched, still unknown even to ourselves. So today, let's drink from the delicious river of Eden. And we do it by connecting to each other, by eating the fruits and saying barakah on them, and by knowing that as we are saying the barakah on the fruits, which is potential of what our fruits can look like, Hashem at the same time is tasting our fruit and taking ta'anug, taking absolute pleasure in his children and the potential of us, his children. Thank you.